Okay, guys, let's start. Hello everyone. Assalamu alaikum. I hope I'm audible. Just give me one sec to confirm once again. Um, I hope you guys can hear me. Just a second. Okay, guys, I can see your chat. If you can hear me, just please send a message. Let me know अगर मेरी आवाज आ रही है. I hope so. आनी तो चाहिए. Oops. Okay. Hey guys, okay, Arya, perfect, audible. Thank you so much. Okay, guys, let's start. Welcome to this session, this webinar by premed.pk, where we will be diving into the science reasoning and the math reasoning, which is, but don't worry, I'm here. We'll go very slow of the AQU test, but don't worry, I'm here. We'll go very slow. I'll break down everything. And then hopefully by the end of this webinar, you will be able to tackle this. You will know all the skills, all the things that you need to effectively pass this specific section of the AQU test. Okay, perfect. Let's start. Okay. Okay, so here's just like a little bit of overview, okay, what we will be covering in this session today. There are a lot of things. Obviously, introduction, I'll share my journey, which I think is very important. And then I will give you some insights. We'll understand how to, first of all, go about with starting to practice the math part, and then how also to go about the scientific reasoning, what are the questions they can ask, how to learn from the mistakes, how to tackle this specific section on the test day. And I'll give you some tips. And yeah, so that's just like a very brief overview. So let's get started. Okay, so here I am. Hi, so my name is Amal Mahmood, and I'm a third year MBBS student at Alumna University. And yeah, I will be taking you along to tell you all about scientific reasoning and maths on the AQ's test. So I think the correct way to start is first of all by starting and sharing my own experience, because I think I am someone that I feel like a lot of students can relate to, because as a medical student, okay, as a pre-med, I don't think that anyone um, likes math. Most of the people who are in pre-med, they kind of like don't like maths, or they have not been in touch with the math part specifically for, let's say, 2 years, right? So like, for example, I did my like the math subject. I took it back in grade 10, right? So that means for since 2 years, I had no exposure, no exposure whatsoever to the math, any sort of maths, basically, right? And so that's not a very great thing, because you need to know, like, be in touch with maths, practice skills here and there in order to be, good at it. That's what I think, right? So again, wait, yeah, here. So I first of all started by, I knew that I wanted to give AQ tests, and I knew that AQ has maths in it, which kind of differentiates it from literally all other entrance exams almost of the medical universities, because no university have math portion, right? So I knew that I have to adapt a proactive approach if I want to clear the test, and specifically the math part. I hate maths. Okay, I'm just gonna say I don't like it. I'm not a fan of math. It just doesn't come very naturally to me, and I find it very boring as well. So that's not a very good thing. But well, that's my story, right? So I started. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. And then I started. 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 I started for this, first of all, I started to make a schedule. By the way, I'm talking like 6 months before the actual test. I think even like more than that, like 7 and 8 months before the actual test, I started with my math practice because I knew that I had to put extra efforts if I was to clear this specific portion. Okay. So, yeah, so one thing I want you all to know is that you need to give your 110%, okay, if you want to pass this section, I'm sorry. So start making a strategy, a schedule, I would say, okay? And this is literally the first step. Once you have a schedule laid out and you have that mindset that I need to start it right now and I need to put in more efforts because this is just how it is. If you are like me, जिसको maths इतना नहीं पसंद or whatever, you just want to do it you know recognizing that you will have to put extra efforts is very important, right? And then obviously studying important are so important. So for those of you who do not know, I'll just like tell you that the science and the scientific reasoning and the math portion on the AQ test, it has a but around 30 questions, and the math portion specifically is to be solved without a calculator. Okay, now that is even, I think, tough for someone who is not good at maths, because to be able to solve questions without a calculator, that means that your mental maths should be like really good. Okay, so फिर कैसे सीखें वो लोग जिनको नहीं आता, who have not been in, again maths नहीं कर रहे इतनी और नहीं पता कि क्या करें. The first step is to make a schedule and just start practicing. Okay, start practicing every single day, and that's what I did. Okay, I skipped a lot of the events. I actually have zero memory of like ATU के test से पहले वाला time because I just remember studying. Like I don't know, I felt like my life came to a halt and everything stopped, and I was just studying. Okay, and yes, it's not easy. It becomes repetitive. Wait, is my voice lacking? One second. Guys, is my voice lacking? I just noticed a message. Please let me know. Because we can't go on like this. Can you hear me like loud and clear, or is it lacking and being weird, my voice? Can someone please write in the comment? Is it lacking or am I audible? Is it fine? A little bit? Okay, wait, let me try moving where I'm sitting because I actually just want you guys to be able to hear me loud and clear, okay? I don't want it to be a bad voice session. Oh, okay, I've changed my place. I hope it's fine now. Okay, so yeah, for those of you who are asking about practice resources, don't worry. This session is going to be very comprehensive. I'm gonna tell you about every single thing that I did. Okay, there's no gatekeeping going on in this session. I'm gonna tell you all about it. So yeah. So as I was saying, it does become very repetitive, guys. ऐसा लगता है कि जिंदगी रुक गई है, कुछ नहीं है, but करना पड़ेगा. Okay, कुछ आपको पाने के लिए कुछ खोना पड़ता है. You really have to prioritize, and then please start practicing every single day. That's my first advice. That's also what I did. Okay, so yeah, one second. So moving on. Okay, so for the part कि it becomes very repetitive, I do think it's important still to just not lose yourself. सही है, ऐसा हो सकता है कि हम लोग अगर एक ही चीज हर रोज कर रहे हैं, it's very likely that we just lose the sight of what we are. So it's very important to have a support system, have friends that you can talk to, still give yourself times. I'm not saying कि अगर दिन में 24 घंटे हैं जिसमें से आपके पास अगर 12 घंटे फारिग हैं, so you should study 12 hours of the day that you have left. I'm not saying that. Take breaks, okay? Um, between the study sessions, time them, and breaks may you can, do whatever you like, watch YouTube, watch Netflix, just do anything that takes your mind off of the study, which is also very important, okay? So as for someone asking, is 1 month enough? I would say you can do it if you think that maths is something that aapko aati hai and like it's not too difficult for you, then 1 month should be enough. But as I said, I started like 6 months before my actual exam, right? But 1 month should be enough. It's important to just know where you stand and how much time you need. Okay. So yeah. So again, let's talk about okay, मैंने exam दे दिया. Okay, I was in the hall. Okay, despite practicing so much on the actual test day, I don't know what happened. I just did not have the time. Okay, मैंने घड़ी देखी and I had like what less than 1 hour left. I remember very clearly, and I had my physics, math, and scientific reasoning section left. Okay, and I was like, oh no, this is so bad. Okay, so then I kind of rushed through my test, and this is the reason why when I came out of the exam hall, I was not sure if I passed the test. It was probably the worst exam I've ever given in my entire life. And I just did not know what went wrong where. But I mean, I didn't know, right? It was the time thingy that I messed up, and that a lot of students messed up. I remember looking left and right after the time was up, and there were literally voices of people crying because I think I'm reckoning that they know that okay, उनको questions आते हैं, they knew they can do it, but उनके पास time नहीं था. And this is a very recurrent issue. Students forget that the time is such a big factor. And this exam, honestly saying, it's probably one of the easiest exam. The only thing that makes it difficult is the time factor. Okay. So wo tackle karna, I'll tell you some tips, right? And so wo kaise tackle karte hain, I'll just teach you. Someone said, did I join any academy? Personally, I did join an academy, but I did not go regularly. But I cannot say that it did not help me. Obviously, it did help me in so many ways. So I did go to an academy, but I wasn't consistent. I did not used to attend all the classes. I just thought it was very difficult to, manage self study along with also joining an academy. So I used to just go for like they used to have these tests for tests, like they used to take AQ mock test, etc. So I used to go for that, right? So yeah, that's about it. So again, as I was saying, kids, very I did not know when I came out of the lecture hall whether or not I passed, which is actually a very insane thing, guys. Imagining practicing for 6 months, as I said, every single day almost, and then still not being sure whether or not you pass the test or not. Okay, it's actually very insane. But again, I'm here, okay? I did pass the test and I cleared it. And I think if I can do it, anyone can do it, okay? All you need is a little bit of consistency and a little bit of faith in yourself, and then there's nothing you cannot do. So yeah, अगर आप किसी चीज में मेहनत करेंगे, please don't think that it will go to a waste. It will never, okay? It will never go to waste. So just believe in yourself, okay? Have faith. If you don't have faith in yourself, if you have वो वाला attitude कि हाँ सही है, अगर हो गया तो हो गया, yeah, like you're not prioritizing it, you don't have a winning mindset, then I don't know, that things can be difficult. So it's all about having faith, praying, and practicing. And yeah, just make sure that you're giving your 100%. So yeah, so okay, someone asked me, okay, which part should we attempt first if we're having a problem? So I'll discuss that थोड़ा end में, ठीक है, जब exam day में मैं बात करूंगी, and then I'll tell you कि मैंने भी क्या किया था. तो अभी so I was just giving like an overview, okay? So ये थोड़ा मैं detail में आगे discuss कर लूंगी, सही है? What was the mistake that I made in those 6 months that you got panicked on the test day? I honestly don't really know. I said it was the time management thing. Primarily, it wasn't कि मुझे आता नहीं था, because मुझे आता था. But again, like I said, मेरे पास 1 घंटे से भी कम time रहता था और मेरे 3 sections रहते थे. And if you know, physics is so like filled with numericals, so you have to give it time. And math is math again, and then scientific reasoning भी थी. And just I panicked so much because of this factor. Okay, how will I complete all 3 sections in less than an hour? So उसके लिए भी basically ये था कि मैंने गलती करी. I lost the track of the time in the middle, in the first half of the test, where I was like, oh, ये तो मैं आराम से कर लूंगी. I gave my time to the bio and chemistry because those were also like my थोड़े strong modules, and I was like, I need to get all of them right or whatever. So मैंने उन पे ज़्यादा time लगा दिया, rather than thinking about कि I need to focus and divide my time for the remaining sections as well. So यही mistake थी एक. um, yeah, someone said that time matters the most. You're right. I in my year, physics में बहुत numerical थे. I was very shocked. I was so shocked that why do they have so many numericals when they could have just focused on other things as well, physics related, but बहुत numericals there for some reason. That's what I remember. Okay, guys, I think we should move on. ठीक है, आगे और सवाल I'll answer them as we go. Um, Total time, 1 hour 15. No, total test time, I think it's 2 hours, some minutes. Yeah, एक घंटे में नहीं हो सकता. It's 2 hours. Okay, let's move on, guys. We'll discuss it more in detail आगे जाके. Okay. Okay, let's start with again. अभी हम लोगों ने काफी discuss कर लिया है, but AQ का exam is divided into main two portions. You have your science and math reasoning, and you have your sciences, which include physics, chemistry, and bio. And you need to pass both of them separately. That's very, very important. I think ये बात सबको पता होनी चाहिए who's appearing in AQ test, that you need to pass both the sessions sections, I'm sorry, separately. And yes, guys, this session is recorded, so it will be up after this live end. Okay, so you need to pass both the sections separately, which is very, very important. AQ does not believe in rote memorization. Ratta will not get you anywhere. Am I saying Ratta is not important? No. Okay, Ratta is important. Okay, you really need Ratta for a lot of things, but it will not be something that helps you pass, is all I'm trying to say. So you need to know that if you have learned something, how can you apply it to a question? That's very important. If you have concepts, if they are there, you can tackle any question, okay? Anything. But you need to have concepts, okay? Clear your concept. It's very, very, very important. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so AQ exams, as I said, focuses on reasoning. If you know a fact, अगर आपने एक चीज का रट्टा लगा लिया है, इससे सिर्फ खाली कुछ नहीं होगा. You need to know how to apply the principle, and then what's the logic behind the principle. You need to know how are the questions designed, and then what are they asking exactly. That's very important, okay? And in terms of, like, let's say scientific reasoning, you need to, like, scientific reasoning के जो questions होते हैं, you need to know कि if a question is mentioning certain conclusion, or if you yourself are drawing certain conclusions out of a questions, on what basis are you saying that. सही है, वो very, very, very important है. And also जो mathematical concepts हैं, they are applied in a real world scenario. ठीक है, बहुत ज्यादा practical questions होते हैं, reasoning apply करनी पड़ती है. Okay, so first and foremost thing, सही है, आपको पता है कि आपको टेस्ट देना है in let's say 6 months, 4 months, 3 months, whatever, and you know you need to do maths, obviously, because you need to pass this section as well. First of all, practice actively, start practicing, and then you have to not just practice, but practice actively. Now, what does that mean? Let's say you solve a question, you got it wrong. सही है, you need to either note down the concept, just जो आपने गलत करा है, and come back the next day so that you can review it. Okay, why did you got it wrong, and then do you understand the concept, or you need to have and solve that same question again the next day. साथ में, if you have gotten a question wrong, let's say, सही है, you need to be able to watch all the videos या पूरा जो उसका concept है, जहाँ से whatever your resources are, whether it's a book, it's videos, whatever you're referring to, you need to go look back and then build your concept so that अगर वही question या उसी topic पे question आए, you won't get it wrong. सही है, that's called practicing actively. And It's also active recall, okay, which helps you again master the right skills. You will, this is the only way you will learn, because see, our brain um needs to be repeatedly told certain thing for it to be embedded in our brain. सही है, अगर आप एक चीज, let's say एक क्वेश्चन आपने सॉल्व करा और वो गलत हो गया, सही है, और उसके बाद जो है आपने अगले दिन या उसके अगले दिन आपने वो रिव्यू ही नहीं करा, there is 60% chance that you will again, when you see that question, you will get it wrong. सही है, डिस्पाइट पहले सॉल्व किया अगर आपको पता है कि वो गलत है, उसके बावजूद यू विल गेट इट रॉन्ग, बिकॉज दैट्स जस्ट हाउ इट वर्क्स. ओके, until you are practicing actively or recalling, you won't be able to master the concept, you won't be able to um, get the questions right. Okay, I will move on to the scientific reasoning as well, guys. Just wait, okay? We have to move in a systematic way. I'll also tell all the resources, all the books that you need. So don't worry about that. Okay, so this is just some of my tips. One of the insider goodies is to make sure that you revise the topic the next day. I did this, okay, and it helped me tremendously. That's why I'm saying this. You need to practice the question again. It will help you reinforce the concept and you will remember it. So, make sure that you are keeping a record of all your mistakes. ठीक है, break down the concepts and topics so that you get an idea कि किस जगह आपकी जो है वो weekend ideas हैं और कहाँ पर आपको जो है वो like कौन से concepts आपको आते हैं. You need to also keep a track of your test scores, so that आपको पता हो कि are you making any progress or not. And then you can also, you know, just make some charts to summarize the data, or something like, let's say formulas hai ya kuch bhi hai, you can do this like a chart or anything graphical that helps you memorize it. Now for this, I will here stop and recommend premed.pk ka AQ mock test and all the question bank that they have. I will never endorse something that I haven't tried personally. Okay, so I did use premed.pk ka question bank, and their AQ mock test when I was in your guys like your place basically. When I was in you guys' shoes, I was doing this. I practiced their bank question bank. Um, very very regularly, I think, and just as the days करीब आ रहे थे क्योंकि इसके I was doing it more often, so it really helped me, and it I will recommend it to you. It also does tell you like आपने कितने questions सही करे, आपकी progress क्या है, all of that. Right. Okay, so time management. Now, this is a very important topic again. This is the topic that I think perhaps is like the single most important factor that either can break or make your test. Okay, remember कि time management जो है वो बहुत important है. The questions on the test are very simple. अगर AQ का test का question paper, if I give it to you and make you solve it in like a different environment, not a test environment, I think you will be able to do it easily, okay? But when you are in an exam hall with a time crunch and when you know the stakes are so high, a test which is so important, it can, you know, a lot of factors are there, the stress, the anxiety, and it can just result in something which is not great, which means that you end up losing time. Okay, you don't understand where it's going, and just somehow, to be very honest, exams hall में जो घड़ियां हैं वो बहुत तेजी से भागती हैं. पता नहीं क्या होता है. Okay, so for this, I would recommend start practicing um, simulated timed environment में your questions. ठीक है? I started practicing timed questions. I start solving it बहुत late. Like AQ के टेस्ट से 2 हफ्ते पहले मैंने शुरू करा timely question solve करना, which I don't think is a great thing. Like I think that's something that I did wrong. So I would suggest start early. You need to simulate the exact environment if you can. Make sure you're at a place जो कि थोड़ी quiet है and कोई आपको disturb करने वाला नहीं है. Maybe, you know, go to a place जो थोड़ी uncomfortable भी है आपके घर में या कहीं भी, because yeah, ऐसा आपको लग रहा होता है actual day में. And then yeah, use a timer and anything to just keep a track of your practice session. आप कितना time ले रहे हैं, कितना ऊपर जा रहे हैं. मैथ रीजनिंग के लिए एक्चुअल टेस्ट डे में और प्रैक्टिस करते हुए भी बस कोशिश करें कि 1 मिनट से ज्यादा नहीं लें हर क्वेश्चन पे. इफ यू थिंक इट्स टेकिंग मोर देन वन, let's say 1.5 minutes, just leave it. Okay, that's what I would advise. Make an educated guess or move on to the next question. If you are stuck, again, Yeah, that's what I said. कि make an educated guess. Just don't stay on that question. Don't think कि oh मुझे अभी बस आ जाएगा थोड़ी देर में समझ आ जाएगा. Don't waste time. And for science reasoning, it's important that you spend under a minute on a question. So yeah, 50 seconds is very good, right? अगर passages wise questions आते हैं, so 6 minutes is great. Okay, so सबसे important बात है मैंने पहले ही बताई थी, but there is no negative marking. Okay, no negative marking in this portion, in the maths and the scientific reasoning portion. Please, guys, please, 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 just don't leave any question empty. You have higher odds of getting a question right if you attempt that question than just leaving it. Okay, don't leave it empty. फिर तो आपको zero ही मिलेगा. अगर आपने क्वेश्चन को अटेम्प्ट करा at least 0.25% odds तो है कि आपको जो है वो you will get the question right. So please attempt every question in the math and the science reasoning part. Um, So sometimes, अभी कुछ strategies हैं. Sometimes it's very smart to not actually just solve the entire question, but rather than pick up the values from the options, plug it in, and you will get your answer. Okay. We will go through the strategy again. I have some questions for you. So हम वो साथ solve करेंगे and you will understand exactly what I'm saying. But ये एक strategy है. और ये strategies आपको कहाँ से मिलेंगी ये भी मैं आपको बताऊंगी. I learned them from a book and I'll tell you all about that book. It's a great book. So yeah, just keep watching. I'll tell you about that. So question types जो आते हैं, so science reasoning में either there can be questions जिनमें वो आपको data दे देते हैं किसी भी type का, and then उससे related question पूछते हैं, right? It could also be just like related to some pie charts या कुछ और graphical data हो सकता है जिससे ये questions पूछ देते हैं. But remember, it's nothing जो आपने लाइक पहले पढ़ा हुआ होगा. इट्स नथिंग जो कि मैथ्स बायो केमिस्ट्री या फिर फिजिक्स पोर्शन में से उठा के वो देंगे. ऐसा नहीं है, ठीक है. इट्स गोना बी समथिंग वेरी डिफरेंट. इट्स गोना बी समथिंग दैट यू विल should be able to answer by just looking at the question itself. ठीक है. इसको इसके लिए कोई prior knowledge नहीं चाहिए. Okay, and that's what science reasoning is. And I'm sorry, I know that it's very all over the place, and that's how I felt like too, because it was all over the place. They don't specify ke kya hoga. There's no resource specifically that teaches you science reasoning. So इसलिए जो है वो ये थोड़ा all over the place है, and ये थोड़ा difficult भी होता है tackle करना. They can also give you research summaries जिसमें वो एक पूरा research paper की summary दे देंगे, and then there will be like 4-5 follow-up questions उसी paragraph में से, and then there will be some paragraph, let's say उसमें दो authors या two people will be talking about some conflicting viewpoints on, let's say, any topic, and then they will mention the viewpoint of एक author दूसरा author, and then उसमें से they will ask you to deduce certain things. They will ask you, why did author one say this? What's the evidence that they're backing up with this? Again, simple questions hai, but the only thing is that उस वक्त टाइम का मसला होता है, दिमाग इतना चल नहीं रहा होता, स्ट्रेस होता है, एंजाइटी होता है. इट्स ऑल नेचुरल, इट हैपेंस, एंड दिस कैन मेक यू mess questions up, even the most simplest one. Okay, literally I remember my question में एक सवाल था, वो ऊपर paragraph पढ़ के ही आंसर करना था, and just for some reason I couldn't find the information paragraph में mention हुई भी, जबकि I'm 100% sure mention हुई भी थी, but I kept reading again and again. I could not find the information. So sometimes you see it but your mind doesn't grasp. Again, stress or anxiety बहुत सारा factor आता है. You do have no idea the kind of effects stress and anxiety have on your body. So yeah, it's okay. Just it's very important to keep your calm. Negative marking होती है for sciences part, which is basically the physics biochemistry वाला जो portion है. Math और science reasoning में जो है वो नहीं होती कोई भी negative marking. Math reasoning में आपको word problems दे देंगे. There will be some data interpretation, probability, basic algebra, geometry वगैरह. ये सारे usually जो है वो grade 9-10 की जो है वो math होती है, basic होती है. Remember that they have made the test कि आप उसको बगैर कैलकुलेटर के सॉल्व कर पाएं. ठीक है. सो वो ऐसे ही सवाल पूछेंगे तो बगैर कैलकुलेटर के सॉल्व हो जाएं. Moving on. Remember that you need to, I think I've said it before as well, so I'm just gonna quickly pace through this, but like, be your own critique. You need to learn from your mistakes. If you're not learning from a mistake, there is no point. you will make no progress. You need to review your questions. You need to practice the questions that you got wrong. You need to understand why you got it wrong, why the other options the correct option is correct, why other options are wrong. You need to understand it all. ठीक है, सिर्फ एक राइट आंसर को ना देखें जो आपने गलत किया है और जो बाकी भी दिए हुए हैं उनको भी समझें कि वो क्यों नहीं हो सकते. सही है. um, then other than that, you if you think you have a pattern that you keep getting एक ही type के questions wrong, stop right there. Go watch videos, refer to the books, build your concept, and then come back again. It's very important, okay? डिटेक्टिव मोड, सो दिस इज फॉर साइंटिफिक रीजनिंग. आपको फुल ऑन डिटेक्टिव मोड पर चले जाना है. यू अगर आपके पास लेट्स से कॉन्फ्लिक्टिंग व्यू पॉइंट वाला पैराग्राफ आया है, यू नीड टू बी एबल टू समराइज द व्यू पॉइंट्स ऑफ ईच ऑफ द ऑथर और ईच ऑफ द person, and then you need to focus के किस टॉपिक पे बात हो रही है, what's the central disagreement, what are the theories that are being presented. एंड अगर क्वेश्चंस जो हैं वो फिर आपको इसी तरह के मिलेंगे. दे विल आस्क यू टू इवैल्यूएट व्हिच व्यू पॉइंट इज सपोर्टेड बाय व्हाट एविडेंस, यू नो ऑथर वन ने ये बोला तो क्यों बोला, एंड ऑल ऑफ दैट, यू नो जो आगे फॉलोइंग क्वेश्चंस होते हैं. सो सम गेम चेंजिंग स्ट्रेटजीज फॉर मैथ्स रीजनिंग. लेट्स स्टार्ट. सबसे पहले अगर आपके पास एक ऐसा क्वेश्चन आया जो कि टू वर्डी है, ओके, वेरी नैरेटिव, you need to be able to pick out the important variables and note them down. मैं क्या करती थी, I used to do make like 2 columns or whatever, 2 headings, data and unknown. And data में मैं सारा लिखती थी जो मुझे क्वेश्चन में दिया हुआ है, and unknown में वो चीजें जो मुझे पता करनी है. It helps a lot. Identify, oh yeah, so you मैंने बता दिया, identify unknown and assign variables. And then you have to break down the complex problem in smaller steps, and you can do this by again extracting information out of it. जो ज्योमेट्री के प्रॉब्लम्स होते हैं, which I did remember seeing a lot on my exam day, by the way. So ज्योमेट्री रिलेटेड जो प्रॉब्लम्स होते हैं उनमें वो यूजुअली डायग्राम्स देते हैं, बट कभी कभी नहीं देते. बट इवन अगर दी भी हैं, I would suggest just go on and again make the diagram by yourself just by looking at the question. Don't copy it from the diagram that's already given if it's given, so that you're able to understand it khud se, right? That's very important. Some of my tips is that math, again, as I said, wasn't my strong suit, so I did put in extra effort and prepped for it well in advance, practiced every single day, reviewed my mistakes. Sometimes, okay, there are certain questions that you can just look at the options and guess and estimate, balki estimate first and then guess that, you know, what will be the answer or what could not be the answer. Just for an example, just one that I can think right from my back of my mind is that, let's say आपके पास एक question आया जिसमें आपको mean निकालना है, ठीक है, and the numbers are 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. अब इनका mean, ठीक है, 1000 तो नहीं होगा, right? And if you see an option which is so far like beyond the logical answer, let's say 1000 can never be mean of these numbers. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29 का mean कभी भी 1000 नहीं हो सकता, right? So ऐसे you can easily deduce के okay ये तो नहीं हो सकता option, ठीक है? So sometimes ऐसे भी, you know, you can actually very easily solve a question way before 1 minute, और देखते ही question आपको समझ में आ जाएगा. सही है. Okay, moving on. Yeah, so to handle maths question, it's very important to understand this concept कि वो लोग आपको ऐसे सवाल देंगे that you can actually solve without a calculator. Okay, that's the entire point of the test. You should be able to solve questions without a calculator. So there are 9, 10th math concept questions, very easy, and you can easily do it. Okay. So you need to master some of the core concepts. These are just some of the topics that you cannot not study. Okay, you have to study these. I would, these are just the ones that, you know, repeatedly pop up on the exam. So these are like arithmetic. So all the fractions, decimal, percentages, ratios, make sure you have mastered it. Okay, you should have mastered this. Then there is algebra, very important, very, very important. All the equalities and inequalities की equations. Word problems, algebra की, very important. Geometry, the area, perimeter, volume, angles, basic shapes, सब बहुत important है. Statistics are also very important. Mean, median, mod, the range. the interpretation of the simple data sets, all of it is important. And last but not the least, the probability is also a very, very, very important topic. Okay. It's so these are just some of them. Okay. I'm not saying these are the only ones that you have to do. No, but these are some of the ones that you need to do. Yeah, so moving on here, we have a question now. Now, all of you guys, just let me know in the comments. Can you see the question? Guys, can you see the question? I will answer exactly how much questions I attempted, how much I left, everything at the end. For now, I hope you guys can see my question, right? I want you all to solve this, and I'm going to give you 2 minutes each, okay? Starting now, just solve these questions and have answer, write down on a paper or whatever, and then we'll discuss these, ठीक है? फिर हम आगे खुद solve करेंगे मिलकर, but for right now, just solve it खुद से, अपने आप से, just solve these questions. And yeah, let's take 2 minutes from now. And please don't chat GPT this or don't Google this. Just try to solve it खुद से. And it doesn't matter अगर आपके पास ये concept refresh नहीं है. It's okay. Still just attempt it. Sorry. Okay, I think we can move on now. I'm not sure अगर 2 minute पूरे हो गए हैं. But let's move on towards the solutions. I hope a lot of you or most of you are done. Say yes. So solutions से सबसे पहले, let's look at question number 1, right? There are a lot of ways. There are more than 3 ways that you can solve this question. Okay? One you could do is that move the like same variables on same side. So अगर 2x उस तरफ है उसको उधर ले जाएं, 5x minus 2x हो जाएगा, and then the 3 will go on that side, so that will be 9 plus 3, right? And then you solve for x, you will get your answer. If you want to solve this quicker, you can also do कि आप values plug करें, ठीक है? And just make sure that this equals to के जो इस left side and right side है, they are equal. So if you plug in 4, ठीक है, x की जगह पर, and दोनों side पे x की जगह पर, so 5 4s are 20, 20 minus 3 is 17, and then same you do for the other side. You plug in 4, let's say, for 2 के x की value की जगह, so 2 4s is 8, and 8 plus 9 is 17. Since both these sides are equal, 4 is our answer. ठीक है? And then if we talk about the second question, ठीक है? Second question में वो कह रहे हैं, a bag contains 5 red marbles, 3 blue and 2 green. If one marble, कोई सा भी एक हम choose करें randomly, so what's the probability that it is not blue? Okay, मतलब हमने जो choose करा है वो blue नहीं है, blue के अलावा कोई और color है, ठीक है? अगर मैं randomly एक pick करूँ, सही है? So इसके लिए, let me just move आगे and I'll show you the solution. How you tackle it. Okay, this is for the first one. So again, you can either solve it this way, or when I plugging in wali batai thi, you can plug in the value and you will get the answer. The correct answer is 4, which is C. For the second one, again, it was asking you, the question was asking you second wale ke liye, what is the probability that if you pick a marble randomly, it will not be blue? वो color blue नहीं होगा, blue के अलावा it will be anything else. So uske liye, you need to first count the total marbles. Total marbles are 5 plus 3 plus 2, that's 10. Number of marbles which are not blue, obviously blue ko hata ke jo remaining the colors and you will add them. So 5 red plus 2 green, 7. And so the probability is 7 divided by 10. This is the probability कि अगर आप एक marble pick up करें randomly, it will not be blue, which means it will either be red or it will either be green. So that makes the correct answer D. 7, um, 7 on 10. Okay? I hope that makes sense, guys. Let's move on. This was just an example, take care, that you can solve one question through different strategies. Now comes the part which I think a lot of you guys have been waiting for. What were the practice materials? So one thing that I think I swear by are SAT math books. They are literally the best. For those of you who do not know, SAT is a very important international standardized test that you need to give if you want to go into colleges. It has a lot of different sections, one of which is math, and then math, maybe it's two parts. One section is without calculator, and one is with calculator. So this just makes perfect sense because AQ wala test is also math test is basically to be solved without a calculator. So I started using math SAT math practice books. I used the one which is called College Panda SAT Math Advanced Guide and Workbook by Nielsen Fu. You can look this up, okay? And this book is amazing. Okay, it's my holy grail. I can go on and on about this. I keep telling everyone to use this book. It has chapters with explanation कि वो chapter के अंदर like सब topic wise जो है सारी explanations हैं. It first teaches you everything about the topics, and then you can buy another workbook जिसमें सिर्फ questions होंगे, and so you can practice as well. And हर subject के end में वो question और उसको solve करने की 2-3 strategies, tips and tricks सब बताते हैं. It's a very, very great book, guys. Please don't sleep on this. I would recommend all of you. I think you can get it anywhere, from anywhere, any bookstore that sells SAT books. Other one is Barron's SAT. So ये भी बहुत अच्छी book है. I didn't use that personally, but I know that a lot of people did use it, and it's also one of the practice book, which is very proclaimed practice book for SAT maths. So yeah, please use SAT math practice books. And so although calculator and non-calculator portions होते हैं, I would suggest solve both. The point is to brush up on your math skills so that you can solve a question quickly. So starting में अगर पास time है तो non-calculator sections भी solve करें. Why not? ठीक है. The more you practice, the better. Okay. So I practice the topic wise breakdown again. ये सारे जो topic wise है ना, algebra उस book में पूरा समझाया हुआ है. The one that I told you guys about, the Nielsen Fu one, the College Panda. Geometry अलग से समझाई हुई है, volume समझाया हुआ है. So you need to study them topic wise. It will be really amazing. It has a lot of shortcuts, a lot of tricks that you can learn, and you can literally solve questions within seconds. So some of the game-changing strategies now for science reasoning. Okay, let's move on to science reasoning finally. So remember that अगर passages आए हैं, you need to read them carefully. You need to highlight the important stuff. If there's conflicting viewpoints and a passage about, let's say, like debating about certain topic, then you need to make sure you're summarizing dono authors, yeah, dono persons ka point of view, and understand it so that you can solve it. So remember that you think like a scientist, ठीक है? You need to understand कि paragraph में या question में क्या दिया हुआ है, ठीक है? Just look at it from a viewpoint के the answer lies within the question, okay? Scientific reasoning के लिए, they do not expect you to know, like solve it with your prior knowledge. That's the entire point of science reasoning, okay? You will be able to get the answer just by looking at the question, just by reading it again. ठीक है, आपको आ जाना चाहिए. सही है, जो आंसर्स हैं वो आपको उसी टेक्स्ट, उसी डेटा एंड उसी क्वेश्चन में से मिल जाएंगे. यू डोंट नीड टू अप्लाई एनी प्रायर नॉलेज. ओके, रिमेंबर दिस. Okay, so science reasoning again are common sense and logical thinking questions. You need to practice questions which are again available on premed.pkq website पे या फिर I think MCAT also has the logical reasoning wala section. You can also solve them, but make sure that you just have time for this section, and you will be more than good. Okay, just time हो इस question को इस portion को solve करने के लिए, because I think it's the last one on the test. तो तब तक जो है वो इंसान जो है वो पता नहीं क्या से क्या हो जाता है. So just make sure you have time and you can then easily solve this. Let's solve a question, guys. Okay. Can you see this question on your screen? I need a quick answer, please, guys. And I'll give you 50 seconds. Let's solve this. 50 seconds, guys. Okay, guys, are you done? Can we move on to solving this together now with the answer? Okay, let's start. This question says, in order to protect themselves from being eaten, animals resort to camouflage and chemical defense. Animals camouflage by mimicking their appearance in their environment, I'm sorry. And then animals that have chemical defenses contain chemicals which are noxious to predators. Which of these is not, okay, remember, not an example of camouflage or chemical defense? ठीक है? Now, अब पता है क्या होगा if I'm realistically speaking? Exam environment, right? We're all under stress. You'll read the question fine, and suddenly you will just not read के वो पूछ रहे हैं not an example. And you know, maybe आप गलत mark कर देंगे. So it's very important to just know कि वो question में पूछ क्या रहे हैं. So this is again all the information that you need to answer this question is literally given upper question में. That's literally the entire point of science reasoning. So वो पूछे कि camouflage और chemical defense का क्या example नहीं है. A walking stick insect which looks like a twig, that's camouflage. Okay, that's camouflage. They are hiding themselves so that they can escape their enemies or whatever predators. A skunk has an awful smell. That's also a camouflage, or perhaps, sorry, it's a chemical defense, right? I'm thinking because smell hai, it's chemicals that's causing the smell. So that's, let's say, a chemical defense. Yeah, that's not camouflage. Feathers of a pitohi, I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm sorry, guys. Bird in New Guinea contain a deadly toxin. So again, toxin ki baat ho rahi hai. That's a chemical defense for sure. Roses have thorns. Sure, roses have thorns, but what about it? Thorns camouflage to nahi kar rahe roses ko. Thorns are not chemical also, so not sure. Okay, a harlequin crab looks just like a sea cucumber. Sorry, this is a typo. A sea cucumber it lives on. So this is also camouflage. So that brings us to the correct answer being D, because roses have thorns. Okay, sure. But kya wo camouflage kar rahe hain? No. Is it a chemical? Thorn is not a chemical. It's literally a physical, sharp, pointy branch sticking out. So it's more like a physical defense. Okay, if you touch a rose with thorns, you will start to bleed, right? So that's physical. That's not a chemical. That's not a camouflage. Say it. So someone said that roses are not animals. Sure. Okay, that could also be one of the tricks, but sometimes they don't go to the literal, like the options aren't literally related to the question itself. They want you to be able to understand कि camouflage or chemical defense का क्या मतलब है and just apply that, okay? So अगर किसी ने इसको इस basis पे solve करा है कि oh roses are not animal, that's not the right strategy. I'm sorry. The right strategy is basically just knowing what the definition of camouflage and chemical defense is and then applying it. Okay, it literally could have been some other example as well. For example, oh yeah, so like I mean, I can think of one. It could have been a porcupine have scales on its body, right? So that's again, that is not a chemical defense. That is not a camouflage. अगर एक porcupine, I hope you guys know what a porcupine is. It's an animal which has these sharp, very sharp thingies pointing out from all of the body. Like entire body is covered with these spikes. ठीक है? So वो हो सकता था इस option में. So thank you for pointing out that the roses are not an animal, but they can give you an animal, and you still should be able to figure out. Okay. So yeah, perfect. Let's move on. So practice book again, some more. I already talked about the College Pandas SAT Math book. You can also use the College Board की official books जो होती हैं study guide. उसमें भी again is the same thing. They will literally explain every topic to you, break down, give you tips and tricks on how to solve it, and yeah. Okay. Barron study guide ये भी मैंने discuss कर ली थी. Perfect. Let's move on. So scientific reasoning club, personally, I did not use any specific books. So there are no specific books. I just did the MCAT key science reasoning wali and scientific reasoning wali portions. So that's it. So on exam day, now I think we're moving towards just the last parts. It's very important to make sure that you have allocate time, I'm sorry, and you have adequate time for math section. Now, one thing, okay, which is very important, guys, please make sure to understand. मैंने ऐसे बहुत सारे लोगों को देखा है. In my year, I remember, जिनके sciences वाला जो part था, मतलब sciences से मेरा मतलब है biology, chemistry, and physics. They had literally 80%, 90% in that portion, and they only failed the maths and science reasoning wala portion. And that's the only reason, why they couldn't pass the test, because they passed the other one and math wala nahi ho paya. And that's literally how it goes. Okay, majority of people, they don't give enough time, or they don't know how to go about the math and science reasoning wala portion, and they end up doing really well on biology, chemistry, physics, and they end up failing because of the math and science reasoning. So उसके लिए guys important है कि अगर हम लोग दो तीन ट्रिप्स एंड ट्रिक्स इस बारे में बात करें कि सबसे पहले क्या पोर्शन सॉल्व करें. मैंने पेपर को ऐसे सॉल्व किया था जिस ऑर्डर में वो आया था. Was that a good thing? Looking back right now, I don't think so. I think I would have done it differently. कि मैं पहले, let's say, biochemistry करती, and then I would have moved towards science, reasoning, and maths, and then I would have moved back towards physics. या अगर आपको कुछ और चूज करना है ऑर्डर, लाइक दो कर लें आप साइंस रीजनिंग साइंसेस में से, एंड देन बाकी आप मैथ रीजनिंग एंड साइंस रीजनिंग पर आ जाएं. It is because I think all of us, majority of us, are really good, and they have a pretty good hold on biophysics and chemistry, right? So you'll be able to do well on it. But make sure, what you need to make sure is you're passing the math and the scientific reasoning portion as well. So that's why I am suggesting you can try this. But again, that's just an advice. I'm not telling you to do this, okay? Only you can know which one works better for you. And you can only know this by practicing yourself, okay? Practice real test, like pura full length mock test, 2-hour exam with the same amount of questions. That's very important, okay? So I recommend that at least, okay, no matter what's the order जिसमें आप solve करें, make sure you have 1 hour complete. अच्छा, let me just see some of the questions. I do not have my timetable with me. I don't know what it was. I have no memory from that time, guys. I'm sorry. So पेपर में बेसिकली आपको एमसीक्यूज सॉल्व कर ना एक शीट देते हैं, एंड देन शीट में आपको कलर करना होता है ABCDE. आई थिंक एमकेट में भी ऐसा ही होता है. यू गाइस शुड नो दिस बाय नाउ कि हाउ यू नीड टू कलर द करेक्ट ऑप्शन ABCDE में से. So how much test did you attempt and how much test did you leave under 1 hour? I attempted every single thing, guys. I attempted every single thing. I did not leave anything. Okay, and that's the reason why I walked out of the exam hall not knowing कि क्या हुआ है मेरे साथ and whether I will pass or not. So you need to pick a section that you are able to compromise on. For me, given the environment, that become physics. मेरा physics बहुत बुरा हुआ था. मैंने physics में से शायद 3 या 4 क्वेश्चन सॉल्व किए थे. बाकी सब में I had to make an educated guess. I did not have times to go and solve all those lengthy numericals. I just literally could not. Okay, so I sacrificed my my physics section, and I think it was a smart move considering कि I knew मैंने biology और chemistry में अच्छा किया है, तो overall I will pass that section. इसलिए I left my physics section and I moved on to maths and science reasoning, and मैंने सारा time फिर उसको दिया. Remember, you just need to pass, okay? That's all you need to do. You need to pass both the sections separately. So, but that's not what you should be aiming for, though, guys. Just don't think, oh, bas pass karna hai. Please make sure you're aiming for getting highest marks in both the sections. And that's the only way that you will actually be able to pass it. ठीक है? अगर आप अपना aim higher रखेंगे, तब आप pass करेंगे. Um, yes, sahi kiya under pressure, yeah, and tight time. I don't think मैंने सही किया. I did not read the question, guys. It was really bad. Okay, मेरा time बहुत कम रहता था. I had no time on me, and I had 3 sections left. I had to sacrifice one, so I chose कि मैं physics के questions बस जो छोटे लग रहे थे मुझे, like the ones that I think I could have solved under a minute, उनको मैंने कर लिया था. बाकी सारे मैं numericals बगैर पढ़े छोड़ दिए, कुछ मार्क करे. बिकॉज रिमेंबर साइंसेज में नेगेटिव मार्किंग होती है, तो अगर आप तुक्के सब पे लगाएंगे और सारे गलत हो रहे हैं तो आपके मार्क्स कटेंगे. तो ये भी नहीं करना है कि सब पे तुक्के लगाएं. तो यू जस्ट इट्स अ लॉट ऑफ स्ट्रेटजी. ओके, यू नीड टू नो कि कौन सा क्वेश्चन कब छोड़ना है, कौन सा सेक्शन छोड़ना है, कौन से सवाल अटेम्प्ट करने हैं. सही है. दिस इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. What is meant by applying concept is that you learn a concept and you know कि how will you solve a question using that concept. सही है. आप एक concept को learn कर बस like facts learn कर लिए, that's not enough. Okay, you need to be able to apply that knowledge. Sometimes the concepts are so intercalated, they're so mixed together, so उनको break down करके apply करना is very very important. Guys, okay, someone asked me about my score. I don't remember. My score wasn't very great. I passed the exam. My score was higher for the sciences reasoning, which is no, it was higher for the maths and the science reasoning, because I think अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह वो अच्छा हो गया था. फिजिक्स की वजह से मेरे जो साइंसेस वाला पार्ट होता है, अगेन साइंसेस वाले पार्ट से मेरा मतलब है बायोलॉजी केमिस्ट्री फिजिक्स वाला पार्ट, उसमें मेरे कम मार्क्स थे. बट दैट वाज एक्सपेक्टेड बिकॉज मैंने वो फिजिक्स सॉल्व भी नहीं किया था पोर्शन. तो इसलिए आई स्कोर्ड हायर ऑन मैथ्स एंड साइंटिफिक रीजनिंग वाला पार्ट. मेरे ईयर में कट ऑफ वाज 62% फॉर बोथ द सेक्शंस. If it's only a month left, okay, so if it's only a month left, start today. Okay, आज से start करें. Every single day, just keep on practicing. You need to know that if you don't put your brain in a habit of solving questions, and you can only do this by solving questions every single day, your brain will not be able to train itself to that level where it's able to solve math के questions बहुत जल्दी, बहुत quickly, mentally, mental maths करके maybe 2 minutes में आप 2 seconds में solve कर लें. So ये तभी होगा if you train your brain and if you keep using it by keep solving questions every single day. Okay, practicing lots of time tests mock would help. Yeah, there is a still chance of panicking on the test day? Guys, this is so it will help obviously. Okay, अगर आप रोज practice कर रहे हैं, you will get confidence. अगर आप रोज practice करते रहें, there will come a time where आप बोलेंगे यार ये तो मुझे आता है, ये भी आता है, oh yeah, I know this, and that will boost your confidence obviously. But I don't know how to explain it to you guys that exam environment is insane. Okay, you are in this hall with 500 other students from colleges all over your city, probably better colleges than yours, or like you think back of your mind they're more talented than me or whatever, and you're just sitting with them in the same lecture in the same hall, and you're taking an exam because if you pass it, you will proceed to the next stage, right? So that kind of environment, it's different, okay? वो एक different environment होता है जो जिसको eliminate करना थोड़ा मुश्किल है, like it will be there, right? I don't know, आपसे कौन ऐसा कह सकता है कि आप लोगों ने कोई भी ऐसा टेस्ट दिया है जिसमें आपकी 0% एंजाइटी थी, because if you are like this, well, lucky for you, but I don't think I have ever walked into any test of my life where I was not anxious or stressed, you know. अगर बंदा थोड़ा सा जो stress होता है, it's natural, okay? इसके लिए important है कि you need to learn how to control the anxiety and the stress, practice breathing exercises, and then another thing is just know, okay? Know in your heart that you gave your 100%, and you will give your 100% on the test day as well. And now the only thing that can take you to the next level is is like the greater powers, okay? You have to understand that some things are not in your control, ठीक है? आप अपनी तरफ से पूरी कोशिश करें, and you need to know कि कुछ चीजें आपके इख्तियार में नहीं है, and some things you can't do, and what the things you could have done, you have done. That's very important to have this strategy in your mind, okay? Don't get intimidated, okay? Don't think कि किसी को आपसे ज्यादा आता है या आपको ये नहीं आता. Just make sure that आपको enough आता है that you are able to pass, and you trust yourself, okay? You trust yourself with the things that you have learned. You trust yourself that you can do this, and you can do this, okay? Don't for a second think that you can't do it. It was 85 for reasoning last time. Wait, 85 was the cutoff? Is that what you're trying to say? अगर सिलेबस रहता है साइंसेस का तो क्या करें? Someone else will make you told me 70% syllabus पक्का करके भी clear हो जाएगा. I mean, do you think that all the things that are on the syllabus is so extensive? Do you think every single thing is tested on that exam day? Obviously not. Obviously not. आधी से ज़्यादा चीजें टेस्ट ही नहीं होती, because you can't fit every single thing in a short 2 hour exam, right? So you should ideally do every single thing, especially the high yield stuff. But अगर time नहीं बच रहा, नहीं हो रहा, then I think you can leave some of the stuff. Obviously, फिर और कोई option रहता नहीं है. But ideally, you should do everything. In 2024, City Science cutoff was 63 and math was 85. Actually, guys, it went up to 85. I had no idea. Are you sure? You have talked about reasoning till now. Could you please elaborate in science achievement too? That if we do not do the whole syllabus, science tree. Okay, guys. So for sciences, I think another student will be taking the session webinar. I'm not sure अगर वो already हो गया. I think वो होगा. So please watch out for that. She will share her experience pura for the sciences. How did she do the biology, chemistry, physics? So you can ask those questions to them. मेरा focus maths and scientific reasoning का है. So I'll just be focusing on that. Okay, so again, read the question carefully. Make sure you understand what's being asked. Okay, the question provides extra information or ask for a specific aspect of a calculation. Okay, so this is basically my point of view. I sometimes, you know, what happens is that a question will provide you a lot of extra information. So yeah, make sure you're able to just ignore that. Okay, you don't need that extra information. Don't care about it. Just focus on the question, what's asking you, and then deduce the important needed information. Okay. So yeah. AQs. Okay, so yeah, this is I think the last slide. Remember that this test is for to assess your reasoning abilities. This is very important. You should be able to apply the concepts. I'm probably saying this for the 100th time, but it's very important. Don't get confused अगर बहुत scientific jargon use हो या बहुत लंबा question है, something you don't understand. जो question actual पूछेंगे ना वो बहुत simple language में होगा, and you should be able to understand that. सही है? And you should be able to, you know, take out relevant information that is needed to answer that question. Okay, guys, just I'll take 5 more minutes. अगर कोई questions हैं, just let me know quickly, and then we're wrapping this up. Okay, you guys are saying it was actually 85%, which is wow, it's crazy. This just means that a lot of people have started to get better at it, basically, you know, like they started, or maybe they have made it very easier. I don't know. Kuch bhi ho sakta hai, I have no idea. It was highest till date. 85 is actually insane. Oh my god, 85 is genuinely insane. Wow. But guys, you can do it. I'm telling you can do it. आप लोगों को पता है ना that these cutoff percentages, ये सब जितने भी, like I don't know कितने लोग टेस्ट देते हैं, 1000 तो देते होंगे, जितने भी लोग टेस्ट देते हैं IQ का पूरी दुनिया में से, उन सबका क्यूमुलेटिव करके ये लोग ये कट ऑफ्स बनाते हैं. इसका मतलब है कि ज्यादातर लोग अच्छा कर रहे हैं, which means yes, you can do it too. Okay, you can do nice too. So don't be disappointed, don't be demotivated कि oh 85 is so high. No, 85 is not that high. Anything is possible. 85 was a cutoff for sciences. That would make sense अगर 85 sciences का cutoff था and 63 for maths and scientific reasoning because yeah, I don't know. 85 for maths is insane. Okay, but again, very much possible, and you just need to practice, have faith in yourself, and know that you can do it. SAT sources should be sufficient. I only use SAT for my maths, so I hope it should be sufficient. अगर और मैं advice दूँ तो I would say maybe go for AQU का जो board है, like AQAB board के जो papers हैं, past papers, वो आप solve कर सकते हैं. But I think SAT is best for like it's SAT has amazing questions, amazing everything. Please just maybe stick to SAT. You know, you'll be able to do it. I did it. For science reasoning, yeah, science reasoning के लिए the thing is that there are no specific questions की कोई बुक नहीं है, तो उसकी अगर आपको प्रैक्टिस करनी है, प्रीमेड और वीके के पास अमेजिंग क्वेश्चन बैंक है. दे आल्सो हैव फुल लेंथ एकेयू मॉक टेस्ट जिसमें 2 घंटे का टाइमर चलता है एंड यू हैव टू सॉल्व इट. सो मे बी स्टार्ट बाय सॉल्विंग वो वाले क्वेश्चंस प्रीमेड की क्वेश्चन बैंक के. बाकी एमकेट की लॉजिकल रीजनिंग की भी मैंने बात की थी, जैसे कि आप वो भी सॉल्व कर सकते हैं. Someone said I got 94 in sciences, but I wasn't able to clear the maths as I got 81. Oh no. I I think the thing with the math and the scientific reasoning part is that it's so tricky in terms of that, again, no negative marking, but you still need to be able to get all, like most of the questions right in order to, you know, go above the cutoff, which means कि again I can't emphasize enough कि आपको practice ज़्यादा करनी है. Okay, maths और इसके लिए, because मेरा, like, this is my personal opinion, and I feel like pre-med students have a good hold ऑन बायोलॉजी केमिस्ट्री फिजिक्स क्योंकि 2 साल से कर रहे होते हैं. मैथ और साइंटिफिक मैथ रीजनिंग का स्पेसिफिकली ये है कि नहीं होता इतना, यू नो, इतना इन टच नहीं होते. सो उसकी वजह से मे बी ये होता है. This live will be saved for you guys to watch later, guys. Don't worry. Are ACT questions helpful? I did not use them. I have no idea. KPK science books for AQ. Guys, science book का अलग session होगा, so make sure you ask these questions. उस वाले उसमें I can't guide you for that. If you have any other question for math or scientific reasoning, I'm staying here for 1 more minute and then I'll end. Just let me know. SAT should be sufficient, guys. Barron's is a good book. Princeton is also a good book. I've heard about it. I did not use it. I would suggest and recommend the Nielsen College Panda SAT Math Active Workbook and Guide by Nielsen Fu. Very, very nice book. Guys, why are you panicking? Acha, okay. So I remember जब मेरा टेस्ट करीब आने वाला था, so my test got cancelled because of barishein, and then on the day of the test, it was like the most insane Okay, most insane rain of the entire monsoon season. It rained so much that day. Oh my God. So I was panicking 100%. I was so stressed. I was so anxious, thinking about, okay, what if, like, I don't know, kuch bhi ho sakta hai, why, how will I pass this test? Is all that I did, is it enough? Should I have like done more? But I remember that nothing ever will be enough. ठीक है, अगर आपको अभी एक महीना रहता है, let's say AQ के लिए, और अगर 10 महीने भी रहते होंगे ना, those will also not be enough. So no amount of time will ever be enough in order to prepare for a test, right? So just think के आपने जो मेहनत करी है और आप जो करेंगे, it will, okay? There is no way you won't yield the fruits of that, okay? So make sure कि आप have faith in yourself, and then इस उससे जाएं कि you gave your 100%, and make sure please do give your 100%, and then rest of it is all on God, okay? जो होगा, just leave some things are not in your control. Just ace those things which are in your control, ठीक है? And remember, मैं आपको बता रही हूँ personal experience से, don't panic, don't stress, please, 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 please don't stress and panic. Literally, लोगों को सब आता है और वो लोग सिर्फ इस वजह से mess up करते हैं अपना exam because they panic and they stress. And I know it's natural, and I know it's something that you can't control that easily. But again, practice breathing exercises. Those are not all some like yoga things that people teach you. They are they actually work. Okay, meditation works. So just make sure practice breathing exercises. Stay calm. Keep your cool. Okay, and yeah, हो जाएगा guys. सब हो जाएगा. Please. Okay, guys, so I think this is all from my side. I really hope that you guys learned something from this session, and this live will be available. You guys can watch it anytime. And all the very best for your test, guys. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Good night, guys. Allah Hafiz.